welcome to My Real Estate Mistakes. I'm Chauncey,
I'm your co-host, DeQuincy Edwards.
and this episode we're talking about 2022 first quarter market forecasting.
So we're gonna be talking about real estate forecasting, construction forecasting, everything in the real estate industry. What we think, what's going on now, and what we think is going to be going on in next quarters.
The real estate term of the day is sponsored by the Keys to the Carolinas team with Exit Realty. The term of the day is earnest money deposit. Earnest money deposit is what you put down as a buyer to secure the property. Let's say you and the seller negotiated a deal. The seller agreed that they're going to take the house off the market. With the earnest money the buyer put down, that guarantee you get the property at the contract agreed price and term. So that means if somebody offered them double, they cannot default on that contract because you put that earnest money down. Now that also mean that if you default on the contract, that earnest money can go to the seller as well.
Yeah, so it's basically when you rent a property, you put a security deposit down to let the landlord know you're serious that you want to rent the property. Same thing when you're buying a property in real estate. Earnest money deposit is just a good faith deposit that I'm not going to hold your house hostage. I'm going to actually proceed to buying your house, doing the due diligence and everything, and I'm putting this deposit down so you can know I'm serious and be able to secure the home. So like Chauncey said, it could be as low as $100. I just seen earnest money deposit as low as $100. I've seen the earnest money as high as $10,000, $20,000. It just depends on what you or your realtor or yourself negotiate on the contract or how much the earnest money deposit is going to be. And typically, sometimes the buyer agent holds it, sometimes the seller agent holds it, sometimes the law firm holds it. It's just whatever you guys negotiate into your contract.
Agree 100%. So today we're going to talk about the increase of construction costs and lead time.
So because new construction is going up at an all-time high. If you bought a new construction home last year, you're going to have some serious equity in 2022. It's just that I told some clients yesterday they're buying a house for $279,500, and I said we built this house starting today again. It'll probably be another 15-20% increase to what you got your house on the contract because that's how high materials and labels are going up, man. You be getting letters every day about higher sheetrock costs, brick costs, lumber costs, higher roofing shingle costs. Excuse me. So we have a lot of 1, 2, 3. So he has some time to edit. So we get a lot of increase in costs. So like you said, like labor costs and increased, that's going up every day. So it's great. It's not going to change. People keep asking me in my inboxes or texting me, you think lumber prices is going down? You think shingle prices going down? No, it's not going down. When the market realizes it survive with higher prices, it's not coming down. The suppliers are getting it back in blood. They know that you want it. They know it's a demand. And it's a short inventory. It's just simple supply and demand. The demand is high, the supply is low. So you're going to pay extra for materials. And our labor force really got hit hard with COVID. A lot of people didn't come back to work. They find something else to do. They didn't come back to the construction. Yeah, some people got rich on coins. I just realized, hey, I can live off this much money and I don't need to come back to work. So our labor force got hit very hard. So that's another part you have to put in there, what we mean by lead time. Typically, to build your home before COVID, probably about 3 to 4 months. We could have built you a home. Now that's from 6 to 9 months.
Easily, and that's still a good timeline.
That's still a good time. That's us building stuff we already built before. Custom, just don't have no timeline. It's 12 to 18 months. Just pray that your stuff come. If it's a custom house, just don't kill your builder. Y'all need to work together and just get it done because there's no timeline for custom building. But if like a home like we built before, we know the materials we need to cost, it's probably double now. It's probably about 7 to 9 months to get your house built. So if you're thinking about buying a new construction home now in 2022, you need to be getting under contract in the next couple of months, no later than March, if you're trying to get into your new home this year.
Yeah, definitely. So what you're experiencing now is record prices actually increase, and also you want to take consideration that inflation this year has been this all-time high in the last few decades. We're looking at a 6 to 7% inflation increase. So not only prices have increased just naturally, inflation increased 6 to 7% too. So that's going to inflate the cost of everything as well. Especially your custom built home. I had a client that ended up purchasing their home last year due to the fact that they were actually initially budgeting $150 per square in Columbia, South Carolina to build their custom home. By the time they got their architect to build their plans and got it requoted, they was at $175 per square, and they had to sign a acceleration clause with the actual builder that if the price does increase, don't matter what the appraisal going to be, they're going to pay for it. So you run into that a lot, and that's why people are actually purchasing homes versus actually building, because the cost of actually construction cost is, you don't know. You can wake up the next day. I think 2x4 was what was the price 2x4 before COVID?
2x4s, just regular pine. 2x4s was like $248, $250 a board. You go to Home Depot now, it's about $9
I agree. So
a board. So you just see that's hit everywhere. I mean, you got higher labor costs, you got higher supply, and just for people who can do the work correctly. So you have to deal with that. And like Chauncey said, we can't promise you prices. We have changed. We have suspended custom builder. Actually, we don't even do custom building right now. We just can't do it. We just got tired of fighting with the buyers or fighting with the suppliers. Just right now, you used to be able to get windows for 2 or 3 weeks. It takes about 4 to 5 months to get windows right now.
And windows is a critical thing when it comes to the house. It's not like you can actually go past the windows and come back to it. That's going to halt the house.
That's going to completely stop the house. You're going to be mad. You're going to see your foundation go up. You're going to see your walls. You're going to see your shingles go up, and you're just going to see the house stop.
Yep.
Because you can't close the envelope without windows and exterior doors. And windows are taking 4 to 5 months. So right now, you might as well if you think about building a custom house, you might as well order your windows now.
Agree.
And just have them saved somewhere. Because right now, it's just hard to get windows. Windows are... I mean, I have learned so much about windows, I don't want to know more. I didn't know that this factory makes the inside pane, this factory makes the glass, this factory makes the locking system, and the supply chain got all messed up. So you have your windows sitting in Ohio, and it's like, why they sitting? Because they got COVID scare, and they shut down the plant for 2 weeks. So now they're storing off everybody else. So, I mean, windows right now, it's hard to get right now. We right now, we're not listing homes until after sheetrock, because after sheetrock, you pretty much can dictate your own schedule.
Yeah.
But till then, we just building them and going by then. So our advice on let you know, if you're looking for new construction, get on the contract early, and try to understand, and don't be, don't tell them off too bad. You don't want to be the backburn customer, because they're hearing it from everybody. So they don't want to slow down your house. They want you to they want to finish your house in a timely fashion.
So what everyone's doing, especially your big box companies versus your custom builders, they're ordering your house one time.
Yes.
So initially what happened was that you'll go to the design center and you could pick the paint up until when they're going to actually put the sheetrock up. Now what companies are doing, like your major builders, what they're doing is they're going into, when you first initially write that contract, they're ordering your whole entire house and actually putting it into a warehouse, and then taking that stuff so that you can kind of avoid delays. And they're still having delays on that, but it's a little bit more control of it, because at least they know what exactly you're putting into your house. So that all coming in there and say, hey, I think I want a farm sink right here versus a regular sink, is none of that's happening anymore. You're gonna have to take whatever you order initially, or in some cases, you got to take whatever they have.
Exactly. They might not give you all the options you used to have.
Yeah, I was talking to one of my siblings the other day that her microwave stopped working in her new home, and they actually just said that they're going to order her a whole new. She had to get a different microwave because they stopped making the microwave, discontinue it. So you're going to run into those issues as well too. Yeah. So you just don't know what you're going to run into at this present time.
And you can't get appliances. Mm-hmm. Like all appliances are slowing down. Refrigerators right now about to be slow as crap right now, because they're changing the whole freezing system. Mm-hmm. The United States, they changed the laws on how to make.
In the middle of a pandemic.
In the middle of a pandemic, it's how to just change it. So refrigerators gonna be hard to get. Appliances gonna be hard to get. Literally, I'm waiting on the front door. I ordered back in September 2021, and I still haven't got my front door yet. Yeah. for my house down in Atlanta. So it's supposed to come here in middle of February, but they might push that back. I just have to wait. I mean, there's nothing you can do. You can call, you can cancel the order and get your money back, but you might be in the same boat, order another door. Unless you can physically touch a door and you got one in your hand, I suggest you not canceling the order.
Yeah, so last year I ordered new lights in my house in April. By the time the lights came, I think it was September, October, they had a 30% increase from when I ordered it back in April.
Yes.
Yeah, so I couldn't cancel the order, and they kept telling me that, hey, they were on they're on the ship. So they was on a ship for probably about 2-3 months coming from wherever they were coming from for months. But, yeah, they were on the ship for about 2 or 3 months. So, yeah, you're experiencing that a lot. So when it comes to construction costs and everything. So I'm looking at
before we go to the next step, I just want people to understand prices are going to raise. It's going to keep rising. So if you buy new construction, don't complain about today's prices because in a couple of months, you're going to be happy you got your house for that price. Mm-hmm. I can guarantee you that you think it's high today, 6 to 12 months from now, you're going to be glad you got your house for that price. And also just expand your scheduling for your construction budget. If you're trying to get in before Christmas right now, you need to be breaking ground right now in your new house.
You do. So going from the construction, what's another thing that you're going to run into is interest rates. Interest rates have, since last month, interest rates went from the high 2s to right now, interest rate today was at a 3.62, and it actually went down because last Friday, interest rates was at a 3.8. So what we're talking about now is that you're seeing that the market is not changing and prices are not going down because of COVID, because right now we're used to COVID. You got to think when the market prices went down to 2%, they went down because it was a COVID scare. Now we kind of got used to that COVID is something similar to the flu and we can survive it versus when the first COVID cases happened, we was unsure what was going on. Now we got more data and kind of understand it. So our reaction to COVID is a little different.
Yeah. So now I've seen people now, you can lock your interest rate up to a year now.
So what it is, but you pay for it. I think I had a client today that they kind of didn't understand that. So think about it when you do lock your interest rate, your lender allow you to lock it for 60 days. What you're doing now is that you want to lock this interest rate down because you're not sure what the unforeseeable future might be. So it may be 4.5, 4.25. So if your interest rate to lock it is going to be $5,000 and you're building your final home or your dream house, if you could lock in like right now, if you would have locked it in last month for the next 6 months, you would have locked in at a 2.8. In the next 6 months, it's looking as if we're going to be somewhere in the 4s.
Yeah.
So you're going to save $300 to $400 a month if you were to lock your interest rate now versus that. I mean, then locking it actually 6 months from now. Because what you got to think about is that real estate is slow right now. Real estate is actually going to pick up.
Yes.
So when real estate pick up during the summertime, because what we call our peak season is between Easter and Labor Day. That's when everyone moves that has families and you're moving areas right around when school is actually out. So those are actually those important times. Another key thing that we're doing is we're actually doing the BRRRR method on all our properties right now while the interest rates are low. Because right now on our investment properties, we have 4% interest rates on investment properties. Got to think about investment properties a lot higher interest rate than actually your primary residence. So our investment property is at a 4. What we're saying is that this summer, your primary property is going to be at a 4. So that's going to push your investment properties probably at a 6% interest rate, which is going to change your payment significantly. So that's what's going to be the near future. And we're not saying that something's going to happen down the road. Someone asked me, do you think it's going to be done by December? No, it's happening today. Interest rates have changed 1%, a little bit over 1% since last month.
Yeah.
So you're seeing a significant difference.
So like what y'all said earlier, the market, COVID was new. Nobody never dealt with COVID. The market didn't know how it was going to affect the market. Now COVID has come to a part of life. Mm-hmm. And people are buying homes regardless during COVID. It's navigating through the COVID. So now the market's about to go back up. They're not scared unless another new pandemic comes that shock everybody or something market happen like that. But right now the market's going back to 4 and 5%. So like Chauncey said, I don't even care about the sales price. It's trying to get you the lowest interest rate. That's the name of the game. I don't care if the house is for $50,000, $60,000. You're paying that over 30 years. It's not a lot of money we're talking about. But if your interest rate go from 2.8 to 4.5, then you got to tell Chauncey that your house budget went from $500,000 to probably $375,000.
Agree.
So that's the name of the game. You want your interest rate as low as possible because that's the interest rate going to lock for 30 years. House rate is going to go up. I mean, you buy a house for $500,000 today, 5 or 10 years, that house ain't going to be $500,000. It might cost $700,000, $750,000. That's going to correct itself. But your interest rate is going to stay the same the day you bought it.
Agree.
So you want to lock in. You want to spend extra money to lock in the rate as low. If you get something under 3s, lock it in because I'm telling you, this summer you're gonna see a lot of 4.25s, like 4.5s, like it was a couple of years ago, and they're gonna discourage your purchasing power. But houses are not coming down because they got comparables of what they sold for when people had lower interest rate. Mm-hmm. So either you're gonna pay more out of pocket, or you're gonna have to get a lesser home you thought you was gonna get.
Agree 100%. So I'm looking at statistics that happened is that last quarter last year, you could buy a house for $350,000. The interest rate was a 2.86. Your mortgage payment would have been around, depending on taxes and insurance, would have been around about, I would say $1,800. That's what taxes and insurance included. If you waited to now, prices have increased 7-8%. So that $350,000 house is $371,000 now. The interest rate is at a 3.7. Now your payment is actually at $2,166. So that in between a month, you lost $267 worth of buying power. So your prices have went up. Your mortgage payment went up $267,000, and the price of the house went up just for 1 month.
So let's kind of break this down for easy. I like to do this. I'm a numbers guy. So you say my payment went up at $267, right?
Mm-hmm. $267 a month.
So I would just say what we would divide that by per thousand. $5.50, $6 every thousand. So $6.
About $6.
So what we mean by that is if you look at the bottom of like if you go to Bank of America or any BB&T and they give you like an interest rate and stuff, they at the bottom of the line they say your payment is $5 or $6 every thousand you borrow. Mm-hmm. So if it's $6 every thousand you borrow, if you borrow $300,000, 6 times 300 is $1,800. That's a quick way to do your PITI payment. Mm-hmm. So if he says that
PITI is principal and
principal, interest, taxes, insurance. Mm-hmm. So if he says, I can't open my phone. Give me a second, y'all. Bear with us. So if you divide $267 to 6, you actually losing about $45,000 in purchasing power. Mm-hmm. So you know that's a significant different house. You're looking at a 4.3, now you're looking at a 3, 2.5.
Agree 100%. So yeah, and so that means that the person that could buy a house for $350 was their max. The interest rate is going up, so $267. So that person that was actually at $350, they got to subtract $45,000 if that was at their cap with it comes at debt to income ratio. So now that person from a $350 house to a $300,000 house, mm-hmm. and prices are still going up.
Yes.
So you're thinking about waiting, and that's what we're saying is that if you can lock that interest rate in at a 2.8 right now, don't worry about the 2.8. You can lock the interest rate in at a 3.5 right now. Lock it and pay the $5,000 for the lock.
Or whatever they want you to pay.
Yeah, whatever the price for the lock is, and then you'll have that interest rate locked in for that amount of time because it's better for you to lock that interest rate than to lose $44,000 in buying power.
Yeah, because if that might be a nice tool for you in the future because since you locked your rate earlier, people who had the same purchase problem as you didn't fall out that market because they didn't lock in their rate.
Agree. So what's going to become that has not happened that most people don't even know? This is a pro tip that I haven't seen since when I started real estate in 2006, and it was very vague then. You really didn't see it. It was very scarce. But it's called assumable mortgage. So what is going to happen is that I'm going to sell my house because I have a 2.5% interest rate. And instead of you getting a 4.5, I'll say you could assume my mortgage, but you're going to have to pay me X amount of dollars in order to assume my rate because that's cheaper for you to assume my mortgage and pay me extra than actually go out and get a 4.5 rate.
we just need to do a disclaimer. He's been selling real estate for 16 years. Please do not have a realtor who's like first, second year trying to do exactly what he just said.
Agreed.
You need a seasoned realtor to know, a seasoned lender to know what he just said just now.
Yeah.
Because that, what you probably heard is something you think is illegal, but it's very legal.
Yeah, it is.
It's assumable mortgage. Y'all go Google it and figure it out. But that's not no rookie move. That's a pro move. So we just want to put that out there.
Yeah, because I have seen maybe 2 in my career, because you got to think about it. When we started real estate, interest rate was at a 6 or 7%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Happy to get it.
Yeah, and that was a good rate because think about it, in the 90s, interest rates was at a 15%.
And in the 80s, about 20.
Agreed. And 20% down.
Yeah, and 20% down.
Yeah, so
man, like you said, we suggest you guys definitely lock into your terms. Like Fat Joe said, yesterday's prices are not today's prices. So anytime you can lock in something that won't go up in price, you need to take advantage of that. That's with interest rates. That's with materials. That's with buying a new home. I don't care if the builder lets you go on a contract and you just see a plot of land and some dirt, you write that contract, because at the end of the day, I guarantee you it's going to go up in price. I'm just letting you guys know. So that is part 1 of the 2022 first quarter market forecast. Make sure y'all listen to part 2 on all major platforms: Apple, Spotify, Anchor, and on YouTube. So just follow us on IG at My Real Estate Mistakes Podcast. And if you got any questions, we'd love to answer those questions, especially at Assumable Mortgage. That was a good gem he just dropped. Y'all need to read it today. Okay.
It's a good thing that you can take. So take a look at part 2.
All right.